faking the funk out here for these folks and destroying this planet. It's time to wake up to your reality of who you are and walk in your call in which God created you. Take your position. Listen. Yo, we back again. If you're throwing in the towel, then you back in sin. We need the Holy Spirit. Please let the chaplain in. They at the front door chilling with a childish grin. We should now begin. In the truth be told, we're riding on the light to let the youth get old, and following the one that will soothe your soul and take your bad situation and improve your road to release your flow. It's a long stretch to loosen all these chains from these babies' necks, and tell these young ladies they should save the sex, and tell the young guys not to break their necks in the place of sex, but get the paycheck. And real women really don't play that. A wise lesson learned really, really way back. I had to okay that. The Lord saved me, Jack, from a life of whack. Come on. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. You really can't afford free speech. Yeah. That's real. We from the same cut, but playing different positions. A top secret message catching president attention. Do what you do, just get the good folk to listen. And trust me, yo, it's not about who you kissing. There's a plan to see you chewed up and shit out. The devil's burning red from the fire that we spit out. We on the get up, the hell with that down low. Cherish the gift of the wisdom that we found, yo. Still on the mission with a daily agenda. Your head's still cloudy, so I doubt that you remember that I walk with the King of Kings beside me. Just like the roots in India, I read. I volunteered, no, the Lord didn't hire me. It is the spirit that inspired me, the author of life. Just show the chief where the fire be. We have no time for those that be acting grimy. Yeah.
We're going to have a conversation today, and the subject matter is very, very personal. But we need to engage in this conversation, for the world has gone astray, and we are the only people that can bring it back. So I want to ask you a question. Do you know God?
704.
Do you know God?
They claim that, but he's still looking for you. But I know. Brothers, tell me. Sisters, tell me. They claim that they know God, but he's still looking. Come on. Do you know God? Brothers, tell me. Do you know God? Sisters, tell me. Many claim that they know God, but he's still looking for you. Yes, but I know. Do you know God? Brothers, tell me. Do you know God? Sisters, tell me. Many claim that they know God, but he's still looking for you. Wow. Has he ever helped you out of a tight spot? Helped you in battles when you were fighting the cops? Has he ever took a thug out your life and gave you a good time? with your man or your woman, or your husband or your wife? Have we ever been close to death? Seen loved ones holding on as if there was nothing left? Heart monitor beeping as you hold your breath. Consider this a blessing and a test, and do your best. And what about the test that you took, that you aced when you never did open your book? You were born in the game, yet he made you a crook. Promoted at work when prior years you were overlooked. When you caught that big fish, yo, he set the hook, and he changed your life into a proprietor's instead of a crook. Huh? Were you surprised last year with them charges you shook? Being forgiven for the money you took? Here's the hook: walk firmly when you place your foot. Do you know God? Sisters tell me, many claim that they know God, but he's still looking for you. Yes, but I know. Do you know God? Brothers tell me, do you know God? Sisters tell me, many claim that they know God, but he's still looking for you. Wow. Do you think that was your fault, that new house you brought? You got free from drug charges when your man was caught. Most of your peeps lay dead in the vault, cause many talked the talk, but many couldn't walk the walk. Have you ever been seriously hurt? Bedridden for weeks, still got a place to call work? Known to be cool when you were really a jerk. We try to question God's mind and what drives us berserk. We out of line and violating this turf. We told you to the surf, you could have come up through the dark of the sea with a shark. You feel me? Yeah, you know they dwell in the same places that the seals be, and it kills me. Man, it's like we take life for granted. So the hook of the song, everybody need to chant it. Yo, display it freely from the planet. And if you lack the CD, go to Best Buy and demand it. You know God. Oh my God. Wow. Incredible. Better try to decode this one. Yes, sir. By the end of this month. Yeah. MVP, I don't know if you get no better than this. Caught up in this. Where y'all at? Where the real church at? There are people that care about you. Turn me up a little bit in my head. People that are praying for you. There are people that are advocating and fighting for you. You need to fight for yourself. You understand? Right here. Come out of this Babylonian mind state. You can all improve. Don't think you arrived there because you got money. I got to drive it now. There's no more parking in the streets. A gift from God, not from making gritty beats. A back strike on papyrus with red keys. The sacrifice of Christ was to make your soul think in the spirit wise. Yeah, what's happening? What's happening? Got me some fruit here with some cinnamon and cayenne on it. So, did y'all watch that video I shared? My throat. Cayenne with cinnamon. I mean, yeah, I know I eat Carolina hot reaper peppers and chopped bullseye and ghost peppers, but for some reason this is a little different. Let me put it on here. So I only shared it because I share stuff not because I'm into politics, nor am I giving false hope or anything like that. Because, you know, most people have a hard time seeing how big the game is. The day Carl Tucker or any of them say, well, you know, the darkness people have really been done wrong in so-called America. And only a few have done that. Until he does that, man, I just shared it because let me pull it up and I'll read the name off to you. Yeah. First of all, I don't want to hear all that blah 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 coming from that. No. Okay. Excuse me. I know I watched Cure Meals after, but I watched the whole thing because I wanted to see exactly what they were, you know, professing or claiming. And put the glasses on because I look. I don't like, even though my screen is turned down.
It's I got the setting on very, so it's kind of dark. I can see everything, but it's dark. That's the way, when I turn the lights off and everything, I lay back. I'm looking at a documentary. I pretty much listen more than anything. But it's no, Dr. Drew, not Tucker Carlson. That's another one. The one with Tucker Carlson was excuse me. Well, first of all, this one right here, I think was more prominent. With Dr. Drew, son of World Economic Forum co-founder. Okay, Pascal Najadi. And as you can see who he is, he's like, arrest him. He's even saying, maybe I'll be dead soon. I mean, it's the way it is. He's just saying, and I advise y'all to watch the whole hour and 9 minutes. Okay, well, it's about 58 minutes, but like take the time to watch it. Hey, Rhonda, what's going on? Marcus, what's going on, beloved? What's cracking, beloveds? I appreciate y'all stepping in, man. Nobody made no donations, so. I got a book too, another one today I picked up. The other one, I bought that one. I paid like $780. I'm not showing y'all that. All right? Maybe down the road, when I get to Rondo's, I got all the books and stuff, and the kids are there. If people get it out, they, get together. I'll sit them down to teach them. Y'all can just stand in the background and listen. Got another book. Just open it. This came today. I haven't looked. I saw it was a book, and I said, oh, I cut it open too soon. Okay, I had to chat with some people. I was having some issues with my chest. That was weird. So I had to refocus. Then I had an adrenaline hit spike. And I was like, not anxiety. And I was like, oh, because what happened is your heart doesn't roll. It's like you have to bring it out of B-fit. It's like when you're working out. Like for those who know about marathon running, getting second win or boxing, and y'all ever stand in a boxing position for 3 to 5 minutes, like literally standing like that? How about a horse stance? Like any of y'all ever break the 10-minute mark of standing in a horse stance? Like break it for 10 minutes. If Lee, the guy who went to police force, he went back to he was making money because they wouldn't give him sergeant. So he left the police force. So training still, because he's still training and stuff, but he went back to working in the coal mines and stuff because he makes triple times more money. A good friend of mine in Brooklyn, I was training him in the Mormons. A good friend of mine, he left the Mormons. He's on Facebook. He's like, yo, I'm still doing that stuff. I still haven't got past 10 minutes yet. But he's got past 5 minutes. When I first was training him on the res, he was like 60 seconds in, they were all dying. And here I was like 5-10 minutes. And they're like, I can go longer? Yeah. No, I don't do it now. But that when you stand up and you get the little wobbly, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Or you lift real heavy and the blood pressure drops and you know what I mean? So, yeah. So it does that too. But I'm more aware that this has a lot more to do with something else, and the fact that I'm moving on something else. Okay. But the statement he says alludes to the fact that these hospitals everywhere is so corrupt, and the people that monitor these things are a part of it too. Now, I've said it before, and I would dare anybody to challenge me. I would dare them to challenge me because they know good and damn well. But the thing is I've been stating for a long time, these some bastards, just because they love war and they love killing, that don't mean nothing. Because they've groomed a whole bunch of children they stole away, other than the ones they sacrificed. The ones they groomed for 18, 20, and 30 years, will they make great soldiers in better shape than you? They're not sick with all the crap. Just that they got to make sure because they can't remember certain things. These motherfuckers are nothing but killers, murderers. And he states it. So I shared it. I believe I shared it. Did I share it? I believe I did, right? And if I did, the one about yes, Rondo, did you watch it? Yes, Joe. But we always gotta take things as a grain of salt too. Now, the world already kind of pretty much knows it. But why was he allowed to put that video up? That's the question I have. Why are they now impeaching, what's that guy? Who's that guy they're trying to impeach now? The impeachment of, I forget his name. I'm going to finish it after this. Oh, okay. You should have already been out and watched it, bro. You had a few hours. Impeaching. Who are they impeaching? Impeaching. No. I can't remember. Oh! House Republicans hold hearing on impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. How did he even get that position? Any of y'all see some of these damn airport people, how they rub it on people's penises with gray and white sweatpants? Like, these men are doing gay stuff, man. Like, no, seriously. Now, I'm going to get to reading, but I just have to address some things, y'all. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some serious stuff. They wait until everything is set. Are y'all talking? See what I'm talking about, right? They don't let all the soldiers, the UN soldiers, because a lot of these people are getting paid by the WEF. Did y'all know that? Google it. Google who these people are getting paid. Or go on YouTube. Who are these people getting paid by? The World Economic Forum. From your taxpaying dollars. What in the whole high fuck? And the UN. I'm not throwing no fear into them. I'm just putting this out there, okay? There ain't no time to be fearful, you know? But I just want to know, man, if y'all watch it. If you haven't, watch it. Sit your butt still. Watch it. You know, work on that ADHD. And just listen, okay? We know it's a big game, but you know, whenever you want to succeed at doing something, like Lee Harvey Oswald, a number of individuals, you throw them out there. You know, you throw them out there. Lee Harvey Oswald was one of the plans, like, well, he's got to be sacrificed. So who they have? Jack Ruby, the one who was driving the air conditioning truck, which all of a sudden the history was lost. You see what I'm saying? That over 4 lookalikes were in different places at the same time, while Lee Harvey Oswald was supposed to be taking a shot from the school book suppository, right? But the one that dropped the guy off with the cop uniform with the long gun, the cops ignored going to the grassy knoll. The one in the, you know, in the drain, and the one up on the bridge, everybody saw the Latinos, right? I'm just saying, man. I don't know. I wasn't there. And then the Bambushka lady, you dig what I'm saying? You got to have the one throwaway. The one that you can get in there, the one you can shut up, and he was a CIA asset. This stuff is big, y'all. You dig what I'm saying? So if you watch it with Dr. Drew, just listen. Called Tucker, he had a nice one on too. So I watched those. I said, let me watch this crap. Let me see what's going on. It showed up, give him some view, whatever, you know. And I was pretty impressed. Is it real or is it fictional? Are they about to do something else now? Because that trucker caravan, it's not a trucker. It's vans and cars. So to Texas, you know what I'm talking about, right? Things aren't as they're being put out there. It's real sloppy. Like, I was talking to my friend from Turkey, right? He's about to own this Domino's over here. I watched him as he's grown, working at the gun range, and, you know, number love, man. Every time we see, big hugs, you know. And I says, and he's like me. He's like, I don't know. He doesn't know why the Turks are fighting the Kurds, and it's just a lot of stuff. But anyway, I says, you know what? For somebody like me who's been to Russia, I says, man, I love Chechnya. The Muslims, so what? And Russia, they're not communists, y'all. They don't play this homo shit. No, That's what our country's supposed to be, not tolerating bullshit. And this Democratic Party, this is not a democracy. This plutocrat stuff has got to go, man. And these motherfuckers that think they can do here what they're doing in Palestine, and no, man. This is where it fucking ends. Okay? Let me retract that. It ends with somebody. You dig what I'm saying? So, just watch the video, man, and then y'all comment on it, okay? And I really wanted to do a podcast talking about a few videos that's out there, because we don't need our people getting caught up in it. But things like this really happen. I mean, so I want to hear what y'all got to say about it. You dig what I'm saying? But let me go ahead and get into reading. I really want to hear what y'all have to say about it, because we've gotten so indecisive and the stuff going on around us that anything out there, we have a bunch of dumb niggas, they're going to dismiss everything. Everything's, and they don't have a fucking clue. But they got the goof wagons are going to follow and listen to them. Then you have those of us who have people who know some things. I'm not going to sit here and say what somebody's conveyed to me and said. I know people who actually went there, okay? People from Texas, Louisiana, and a few other places were like, fuck yeah, you know what I'm saying? If somebody does want to cut up and start some shit, I would hate to be on that other side, because they're going to lay them motherfuckers down. It doesn't matter who. They motherfuckers will be in all the big gold costumes all they want. These motherfuckers is really about, no, man, if this is what's coming down to with this fake ass government, some people like, let's fucking get it cracking. Some people really that way. They don't give a fuck about the outcome. They like, yo, this is how it's going to be. Let's show them how I can really get it going. Let's show them that it's not going to be just right here. And this is what I'm hearing. I don't know what the fuck y'all hearing. I would love to do a podcast and discuss it, though. Not to get caught up in the politics shit of it, but y'all on your ancestral soil, where do y'all stand? Those of you who are doing your genealogy too, as far as I'm concerned, you're still my brother. Them Africans are my brothers too. Don't get it fucked up. We just two different people. And that's it. So anyway, I hope that makes sense, and I hope, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, it would be nice for y'all to come on in and greet one another. You know, I know y'all playing, I know the plutocrats are playing a game, and we got little train and all. I don't give a fuck about that. This is not about that. This is about something different. Okay? And I didn't work no hookity pookity over this, all right? I wouldn't tell you if I did any fucking way. Anyway, Exposing the Expositions, 1851-1915, revised edition of 2021 by Howdy, from his 2019, Howdy Mikowski. The Court of Honors, right? In Chicago. They call it Chicago for whatever reason. That's right, Utah is Utah. Motherfuckers, it is. I have books that allude to it. Even in the George Jones one, they talk about it. So, oh, let me show you the book I got. I haven't even looked at it, and then we'll read it. So, pick this up today. The Constitution of the Confederate States of America. Articles of Confederation, Constitution of the United States, Ordinances of Succession, and Provisional Constitution. It's a smaller version compared to the big one, because you know me, I stick with my great grandmother gave me the Federalist Papers. So those are what I run by. You dig what I'm saying? So pretty cool, eh? I can't wait to dip into this one and read it. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and read. Let's get into reading, because you know I got to get the heaven bearers, all right? Awesome. Bumba is his name. He's teaches science. Anyway, this guy over here, him and his wife and kids, she works at the hospital. All right, so let's get into it. They're coming home. George R. Davis was the Director General of the Columbian Exposition and received help with the exhibits from R. Brown Good of the Smithsonian. Now, y'all remember the story about the Smithsonian. The man that created the Smithsonian in the Tartarian building, storing all the way out all information, right? Wanted to share everything with the world that was being destroyed and put over there, but they were reverse engineering stuff, so they murdered him. So who took over? His nephew, right? No, his cousin, nephew, Young. Well, they got rid of him too, so you know who took over that, right? All right. I think he was like 20-something when they killed him. Anyway, which was founded in 1847 at his castle headquarters. Why there is a castle in that location in 1847, no one explains well, or how the castle was even built. Now, today, the Smithsonian is the North American equivalent of the Vatican, The Vatican hides almost 50 miles long, see? 50 miles long worth of book and manuscripts that no one is allowed to see. The Smithsonian hides historical treasures of the original narrative of the Americas. The original narrative, not the fake ones. Not the fake one. Okay? So I'm just saying, y'all. Actually, the entire story of the founding of the Smithsonian is bizarre to say the least, but I leave that for you to study on your own. But I just gave you a little, Bumham's friend, Frank Millet, was chosen as the decorations decorator of the exposition. It is he who is credited with inventing the spray painting technique to whitewash the buildings, to paint them white in record time. Like I said, that is not the White House. That's the Franklin House, and it was not all white. That painting and the drawings that they show you, you can see when they were painted, after it was painted. That's one you could see from the exposition, and it wasn't even called the White House. It was the Franklin House, and it wasn't white. I'm dead ass serious, y'all. None of them wore. Okay? Of course, I have some questions about this as well. The word whitewash has the meaning of deception, double cross, and deceit. It was first used in medieval England to discuss painting old buildings white to hide their age and erosion. Nope. Was he painting temporary buildings to look uniform, or painting some temporary buildings along with original structures that were already eroded so that people would be unable to tell the difference? As the origin of the word suggests, oddly, Burnham and Millet were tied in death. Listen to this. Burnham and Millet were tied in death. In 1912, Burnham was sailing on the SS Olympic from New York to Heidelberg at the exact same time that Millet was on the Titanic sailing to the U.S. Yes, that Titanic. Millet died on the Titanic and Burnham died on the Heidelberg 40 days later, supposedly of food poisoning. What they don't tell you is some of these people wanted to share the information and they were talking a little too much, and these gaffars didn't want to have that. Okay? Burnham is quoted as saying he wanted to build the Columbia exhibition as an example of a prototype of what he thought a model city should be. It was to be designed to follow Beaux-Arts principles, namely French neoclassical architecture foundations based on symmetry, balance, and splendor. What that basically means is that it should look like ancient Rome. The buildings at this fair are credited with the, listen to this, building style of the United States for the next 20 years. And my belief is that the Beaux-Arts architecture movement was created in order to produce specific architects who could build old style buildings to be placed beside the much older originals so that no one could tell the difference between ancient and modern. He wanted to keep it the same. But see, that would include generate more power probably. Recall Kundera's quote from the last chapter, how it can take just but a generation for people to totally lose their knowledge of the past. A generation. Yet it is inside you. So we know that even though it was the quote, there was some nefarious work being done to make sure that happens, or to not be able to remember. This is a really good book. This is like my fourth time reading this. This is a really good book, y'all. Really good. Let me get another bite of this watermelon here. Mm-hmm. You right, Bubba? I gave him a different treat. That nigga, he got itis like a mom. Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood by Janine Helen. What was that? The one about the, yeah. I thought you said something else. Just pop back up. Excellent read. I don't know where everybody at. It's what is it? It's y'all's Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that. There she is in South Africa. Wow. That was good. Yeah, I know everybody. I meant to come on early, like I stated, but like I said, And I had to go to the post office and blah, 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 and a few other things. So my apologies on that one. All right. This is good reading, y'all. So I figure people be here and be like, yo, you know what I mean? Like hoist hoist the anchor and bring down the mast and all that other flippity flop shit. Anyway, this is where it gets good. So this one right here, just to recap, we were talking about Jokiel, Azrael, King Fen, and I guess we was getting ready to do some fighting, and he had read off, grabbed a scepter and everything because they had already went to the treetop and everything like that. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna give y'all some more tea because I know y'all. I've said it a few times before, but I want to know if y'all really looking at it. Okay. Anyway, he hears footsteps approach him, and he turns around thinking it might be Ariella, but it is not. It is Azrael, and he is boastful and grinning. He looks around the house, and his eyes admire the workmanship and detail put into its construction. King Fen, I am so sorry to inform you, but your dear wife, Ariella, is dead. You see, she had a little accident. Now, this is King Fen, and Azrael's addressing him. He says, as he runs his fingers over the wall as he walks around the room, making sure to keep his distance from the king. King Fen raises his staff and activates his energy and postures himself in a battle-ready position. My wife is not dead. I can still feel her. Now take me to her at once, you wretched creature. He commands and raises his staff up high as a sign of authority. Who does that sound like, raising their staff up? Split the Red Sea, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Azrael reaches for the staff and, to his shock and amazement, manages to rip it out of his hand, and he throws it to the floor. The blue light immediately disappears, and the king knows his time has arrived. I turned the notification off, and it came on, so that means they're being nosy. That lets me know. Oh, Slav, what's going on, beloved? That lets me know they're watching. Oh yeah, I can just go off right now, screenshot it. The notification's off, and I just got it, like for real. Anyway, the blue light immediately disappears, and the king knows that his time has arrived. How? The king is on his knees and is begging for his life and that of his family. Azrael leans over and whispers into his ear, "You can thank Mother Nature," he says, and as he breathes heavily into his face, King Fen pulls his face away from the angel of death and stares at the portrait of his beautiful family, knowing that one day they will be reunited. Azrael slowly walks up to King Fen, relishing every moment. Now that he is the alpha dog, and takes his crusty hand, forces it into the king's mouth, and forcefully climbs into his new host. He literally climbs into him. The body of the king falls to the floor and starts to convulse uncontrollably. And then it is suddenly still. He sits up and looks around the room to orientate himself. He licks his lips and can still taste the fear on them from the king, and adjusts himself gently inside his new body. This is a great fit, he thinks to himself, although the host is quite feisty, and he walks over to the mirror to look at his new reflection. He adjusts the belt on his attire slightly and admires himself. This is your best look yet, Samira says as he walks out of the former home of King Fen, and she is smiling eagerly in her new body as well. She took over the King Fen's wife. Azrael grins and breathes in the fresh air. He feels strong and powerful, and he can't wait to conquer them all. These Tartarians are no longer a fighting force, and this earth is now ours. Round up the dissidents and let us have some fun, he says, and they begin to laugh sadistically in unison. Bonnie hears her name and awakens from her intense dream. She has tears in her eyes and wipes them away with the back of her hand. Bonnie! She hears her name again and looks towards the back of the train. She doesn't see anyone she recognizes. She tells herself she is merely imagining it and looks out of the window, feeling an immense sorrow for her people and what was done to them. How could Mother Nature betray them so easily? And for creatures she did not even know. Bonnie! She hears her name again. This time the voice is louder, and she looks towards the back of the train, and she sees a hand sticking up from around the corner, waving at her and trying to get her attention. She gets up cautiously from her seat and takes a deep breath. This could be dangerous, so be on your guard, she tells herself as she slowly walks down the aisle. She slowly peeks around the corner and is surprised by who she sees hiding with a coat covering his face. Henry, she says, with big eyes and surprise on her face, and immediately drops down next to him. Shh, be quiet. Don't call me that. He looks around the room and moves his old blue coat back over his face. What is going on and why are you here? Are you following me? She watches his eyes carefully. Just know there is no point in lying to me. I can do things now. I know. I've heard. You have become a monster body. He snaps and immediately regrets what he just said. Her eyes move down and looks at her feet in shame. I had no choice. It was me or them, Henry. I know, Bonnie. I'm sorry. That is not what I meant. He replies and gives her hand a gentle squeeze. Anyway, I am headed to Edmonton to join the resistance. Jane sold out. I don't know exactly, but she can't be trusted. Malcolm went to Asia, apparently to slaughter a whole bunch of Samira's Phoenicians. I don't know the full story, but things are getting out of control. We need to put a stop to them. How? There is nothing we can do. They overthrew the entire Tartarian Empire, in case you have forgotten. I know. He sighs and starts to cough. We need to be extra careful now, Bonnie. There are very few we can trust. You understand what I am saying? She nods and pulls the coat from his face. When last have you eaten, Henry? I know I am hungry, and you look just as hungry as I. She can tell by his lack of an answer that it has been a while. Stay here. I am going to get us some food. She gets up slowly and starts to walk through each aisle, looking for someone with water and food. It is a cool Sunday afternoon. The bedroom window is open and the curtains are swaying gently from the breeze. He can hear the golden clock above the fireplace tick, and he finds it relaxing. He found it in a severely mud flood affected mansion. In Paris 8 years ago, and brought it home with him. The mansion was exquisite, but it had to unfortunately be demolished. There was too much damage caused by the mud flood, and nothing could be done to restore it. He always wondered who lived in it. The family had wonderful taste, and he would have liked to meet them. The weight of the mud had unfortunately made it structurally unsound, but he remembers that day well. He met Ara that day. She was just walking around the streets and got terribly lost. It was him who introduced her to Rune. There is a soft knock at the door, and it is interrupted. It interrupted his thought. Yes, Jane. I apologize for the intrusion, Mr. Harrington. Mr. and Miss Harrington are downstairs in the sunroom. He sits up on the bed, all surprised. Was I expecting them? He asks. No, they arrive unannounced, she answers coyly. Well, in that case, he wants her to tell them to leave. But he reminds himself he needs to act natural, as if Bonnie running away isn't bothering him in the least. Tell them I will be right down. All right? And thank you, Jane. Jane is secretly meeting up with Hollow, Lisa, and Wow. Show up unannounced. Jane is secretly meeting up with Hollow, Lisa, and Wall shows up unannounced. Coincidence, he wonders? He shakes his head, gets up from the bed, and fixes his hair. This is Malcolm. There is so much, there's no such thing as, ow, stop, as a scratching on my damn leg, a thing as a coincidence, he mutters, and wishes that in that very moment, Bonnie was lying naked on his bed. Ooh, somebody's feeling those. He imagines walking up to her, tickling her back, and giving her soft kisses, snoo, while she lies there with a big smile on her face. He splashes some water onto his face, and it brings him back to reality. He stands in front of his mirror for a few seconds and practices his nonchalant smile and then hurries downstairs. Lisa and Wall, what a surprise, he says, and greets each of them like he always does. A good one, I hope. She smiles and watches his expression carefully. Of course, I am always happy to see my parents. He gives her a soft smile back and exposes his teeth just slightly. Jane walks in and brings them all some coffee and shortbread biscuits. I miss shortbread biscuits. Those things were delicious. I apologize for, there was no donuts at that time. I apologize for the lack of cake today, Mr. Harrington. Excuse me. And he grabs a biscuit and ignores her. So, how are things in Philadelphia? Malcolm asks and leans back into his chair with his usual amount of arrogance. Great. We were just thinking we haven't been here in a while. We heard about Bonnie running off. It was such a shock to us all. She places her hand over her chest, as in, like, ooh, dubiously, and tries her hardest to be genuine. Fraudulent. I don't know where she is, and as you can see, I am not out looking for her. I will find another one. Make sure to tell him that. He takes a sip of Azrael, of course. He takes a sip of his coffee, and his eyes are burning fierce green. He would much rather leap over the table and snap her neck with that arrogant little grin she has permanently plastered to her face. It won't kill her, but she will know just how much he really doesn't like her. She is his mother on paper. Someone had to take care of him, and Azrael was not going to, but she has always hated him deep down inside her. Hollow was the preferred choice. What does Azrael want to know? He asks and takes another biscuit from the table. William puts his hand on her shoulder as a gesture for him to take over the conversation. Where do you think the girl went? Did you know about Rune and Adra? He asks and watches him cautiously, knowing full well that it is impossible to read his mind because they betrayed him. Azrael already knows the answer to both of those questions. I didn't hide my thoughts from him. So, on whose behalf are you asking? It is clearly not his, he replies sarcastically. Wa'al is startled by how he is able to sense the situation so well and realizes it is better that they leave immediately. Yeah. You know what? It is not important. He quickly helps Lisa up and tries to leave the room. Malcolm walks up to them, and places his hand across the doorframe. Answer my question, Wa'al. Malcolm is stronger than either of them and both of them together. He is the son of Queen Adiela and the angel of death, Azrael, their only child and son. And we're going to stop right there because now, as you see, it's getting juicy. But it's going to get really spectacular. Okay? Now, the tea I wanted to have, before I get off of here, I wanted to share. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because, you know, they told you the moon, asteroids struck it and all this other BS, right? Let's see if we can get a good, close one. Now, those of you in the military who have been involved in some wars or conflicts, I'm trying to find a really good one. Okay? What I want to show you, you have a pretty good idea about. Now, can somebody land on the moon? Well, Buzz Aldrin made this statement that it rings like a bell because it's right above us. I believe only a certain group of individuals would be even allowed up there, but I don't think they can go up there because I believe that it is dead for a reason. Not dead. Some of you know that they say that asteroids strike it all the time. Now, I'm telling you otherwise. I am telling you that if you know, I'm going to hold it up as best as I can. There's a bigger one. All right, but I'm going to screen this in. See that right there? That's a blast mark. I want y'all to Google any large craters or anything that you can, like fake Google Earth, where bombs have struck in Afghanistan and all that in Iraq. I want you to look at like where the Moab, Mother of all bombs. I also want you to see if you can pull up pictures of Atoll and those places with nuclear explosions. I want you to see the blast pattern because they did have pictures over top, even Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I want you to pull up those pictures. I want you to look at the details of the lines. The moon is above us. It ain't out no fictional ass space. All right? These are blast fucking marks. Blast marks. Bombardments. Something fucked that up. Now, remember we reading in one book story when it's talking about there was a war and the moon was attacked. Bombarded. And then you remember all the little round, perfectly cylindrical spears in South America. Oh, they've been found there many other places, but they want to eradicate that history. And when I tell you that we can control and do all kind of magnificent things, when I tell you the world we live in right now, everybody is weaker, dumber, and the enemy wants to keep it that way. And it seems not to be staying that way. You dig what I'm saying? Just want to get a little bit of tea. Do the best you can and research that and see what you can find. I'm not saying anything's factual. I'm saying off my little research, what I know, what I've been told over the decades, what I've been able to consummate, discern. That's all I can say about that. Okay? It's right there. They say at least about somewhere 73 to 120 miles up. Ain't that far, y'all. Tore that motherfucker up for some reason. But first, look around. Look at all the places. Look at the blast patterns. And then you can pull up a ton of better pictures of that moon and see what you come up with. All right? Because this meteorite shit is getting to be just as dumb as a mother sucker, man. We're whipping through space, 100-some thousand miles, hidden century. The sun, the moon, the Pluto, all these different planets, right? At the weeks are named after. Check it out now. And we ain't hitting shit. But for some reason, we always got some meteorites falling. Man, please. But yet we get these blue crystals falling all over the place. I just wanted to get that. Okay? Appreciate y'all taking the time. We have 49 minutes. This is old foodie like me. I'm going to let y'all know how this book is. I can't wait to, read it. I probably won't read it to this weekend just to go through it, just to see what, what they've changed and what they read it. I was going to say what they screwed up and everything else, but this is going to be a good one. So this one's cover design by EIPC 2020. East India Publishing Company. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're gonna get in here. I'm gonna cross-reference this book with some other books that I have that are older, much older. Okay, and I'll let y'all know because it's small. It's a simple read. All right. I appreciate y'all taking the time. I guess they don't want to send the notifications out. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, Marcus. Appreciate it. Were the videos of asteroids striking all the time? None. It's all. Oh, it's not. It's all a bunch of. Alicia Cooper, what's going on, beloved? What's happening? It's all a bunch of crock. You know that. You know how. You know. It's what's funny is the bots and all these monkeys who they have. They'll call on your posts and say, "Oh, smiley face." And I guess the Earth is a hockey park too. You know, the retarded monks, the ones who betray themselves. They're not betraying nobody else, and that's why people don't pay them no mind no more. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, check it out. Tell me what you find. All right, share it with me, and also check out Dr. Drew, the one that I shared on here. Check out the video, y'all. It's only an hour and 9 minutes. I think it's about 58 minutes of the WEF's the co-founder, the son of the WEF co-founder. So if that ain't something, and he sound pretty heated. All right. Appreciate you. I don't know where our sisters at, man. I guess they hiding somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So when they come in here, beloveds, and to you brothers, gotta keep them protected. Really, all women. All right, but our sisters, oh yeah, and our children. All right, number, love, and respect. See y'all here later.